Olá, pessoal! Muito boa tarde para quem nos está vendo ao vivo, bom dia, boa noite para quem está vendo aqui a nossa gravação.
Boa tarde, bom dia, boa noite para você do futuro também, que vai nos assistir depois, né? Verdade. Bem-vindos, bem-vindas. Essa live de esquenta sobre o SXSW 2026 que você esperava. É um ano de muitas novidades, né? Um ano bem diferente, né? O South by vai fazer 40 anos, né, Carol? Então, vai vir 40 anos de South by, mas com um corpinho de 21, né? É mais ou menos isso.
Esse ano a gente tem muita mudança, né, Franklin? Então eu acho que quem está indo está super curioso, curiosa aí para descobrir o que vai acontecer. A gente tem desde mudança do acesso dos badges até a grade da programação. Os dias são menos dias, né? Tá tudo mais curtinho, mais junto e misturado. Então tem muita coisa para acontecer.
É isso aí. Pessoal, vocês que estão assistindo a gente aqui ao vivo, se puder, dá um oi aqui na sala do chat. Fala para a gente se vocês estão escutando a gente direitinho. Fala como vocês estão se sentindo nesse momento. Já estão ansiosos para o evento que vai acontecer em Austin daqui a poucas semanas, depois do carnaval esse ano, finalmente, né? A gente tem alguns convidados especiais aqui hoje, enquanto vocês estão comentando aí na sala do chat, para a gente entender se está tudo ok, que é o Peter e a Tracy. A gente vai apresentá-los daqui a pouquinho, quem não conhece ainda. A Tracy já é embaixadora do Brasil aqui, praticamente faz parte do nosso país aqui, né? Está lançando um livro cheio de novidade, já conhecemos. O Peter, ele participou com a gente da live no ano passado, ele é o head de parcerias, mas antes de eles entrarem, eu queria dar alguns recadinhos para vocês, tá bom? E aí, vamos lá, são 3 recados, prometo, vai ser super rápido. O primeiro deles, só para vocês se programarem, essa live vai durar no máximo 1 hora, tá? A gente normalmente marca nossos encontros ao meio-dia, justamente para você poder almoçar à vontade, comer, assistir, tomar nota, tá? E se você quiser fazer pergunta para a gente vai buscar deixar um tempinho ali no final para interações, que sempre é muito positivo. É só você mandar na sala do chat, tá? O nosso time está na sala do chat também, eles podem dar um oi aí para vocês, e aí qualquer coisa também, a gente tira dúvidas nesse lado paralelo ali do chat, o nosso metaverso que não acabou ainda, só virou chat, né? E agora virou chatbot. Segundo recado, e agora já está virando a gente. Segundo recado, caso a sua pergunta não seja respondida ao vivo, a gente vai tentar responder todas elas no nosso grupo do WhatsApp, chamado Radar o Clube Inovação. O nosso grupo do WhatsApp é um grupo um pouquinho diferente dos outros grupos que existem por aí do South by. Ele é um grupo basicamente de recados, né? Você pode interagir ali com os recados que a gente dá. A gente vai atualizando com informações sobre o evento, mas é um grupo que a gente usa basicamente para a gente poder responder dúvidas como as que vocês vão ter e mandar para a gente. Então, a gente vai deixar o link no descritivo desse vídeo e também a gente pode colocar ali na sala do chat. A Paola, a Malu, podem colocar ali do nosso time, tá? E aí, o terceiro e último recado, rapidinho aqui, para quem está chegando agora, muito prazer, eu não me apresentei, eu sou o Franklin Costa, eu estou aqui do lado da Carol Soares, nós somos sócios fundadores do oclb, ou oclb, que é uma consultoria de inovação em marketing especializada em design de experiências. Por falar em design de experiências, nós somos especialistas em eventos e festivais. O meu primeiro SXSW foi em 2012. Isso aí, 2012, já tem 14 anos esse ano. E como já aconteceu comigo, e provavelmente já aconteceu com alguns de vocês, e vai acontecer com quem está indo pela primeira vez, a experiência é tão marcante de você participar desse evento que você passa a voltar todos os anos, você passa a chamar mais pessoas, e em breve você também vai criar uma missão, uma jornada, um grupo, porque você quer compartilhar aquilo com outras pessoas. Experiência boa é assim, né? A gente é especialista em experiência, a experiência boa é aquela que a gente compartilha, né? Por isso que o South by pega tantas pessoas. E aí, de tanto a gente voltava do South by, fazia palestra em empresas, convidava outras pessoas, e alguém um dia, um gênio, falou: pô, vocês compartilham tantas informações de lá, por que vocês não organizam um grupo para ir para lá? E aí, em 2018, a gente fez a nossa casa, o clube SXSW. Foi a primeira vez que a gente fez uma casa, que a gente reuniu as pessoas dentro da casa. E aí, depois a gente percebeu, no ano seguinte, que administrar uma casa para 14 pessoas durante o evento é um trabalho a mais. Então, a gente saiu da casa, continuou ficando em Airbnb, mas o nosso programa, o grupo da gente, só aumentou de tamanho. Então, desde 2018, a gente tem um programa chamado Club Journey, que é um programa de curadoria personalizada, preparação e acompanhamento para festivais internacionais como o South By. A gente já desde 2018 faz para o South By de Austin, desde o ano passado, a primeira edição do South By de Londres, a gente também fez, a gente já está com inscrições abertas para o SXSW Londres também, e esse é o 7º ano que a gente guia um grupo de pessoas incríveis ali para Austin. Mais de 500 pessoas já participaram, pessoas de empresas, donos de agências, né? Então, esse aqui é o último recado, eu prometo, ele está um pouquinho mais extenso, mas é um merchan, e eu prometo que é o único merchan que eu vou fazer nessa live, tá, gente? O resto é só conteúdo útil mesmo. O nosso grupo tem ainda 30% de vagas para esgotar, então, se você tiver interesse, procura a Priscila, procura alguém do nosso time comercial, eles estão aqui com a gente na sala do chat também, então vocês podem conversar por ali. Pronto, gente, aqui acabou o merchan, acabou os recados todos, e agora, let's change the idiom to English and get this party started. Carol, would you please introduce our special guest for today?
Yes, of course. Let's do it. Today, Tracy Mann is here with us. Tracy is the International Communications and Partnership Strategist. And also, Peter is here with us. Peter is a Chief Commercial Officer. Welcome, guys. So glad to have you with us today.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you all.
Great to be here.
We're all very excited for South By this year. A lot of change, a lot of things. Everybody's so curious. So let's start from the top. Just go directly to our questions. South By is celebrating its 4th anniversary this year. So this is also be the first year the Brazilian community won't be walking through the halls of the Austin Convention Center. Everybody's so nostalgic at all. So Peter, could you please walk us through this new South By landscape? What is the South by Southwest Village? What are the clubhouses? What should we expect to experience in these new spaces?
Yeah, thank you, Carol. It's great to be here. And I think it's funny that for our 40th birthday, the city decided to give us a present of demolishing the convention center. So it's going to be an exciting year. I think the best parts about Austin are going to show up in a real way with South by Southwest and this new footprint. You noted the villages. I mean, really what we want to create is a sense of community. I think that's more important now than it's ever been. And that's really at the heart of what we try to do at South by Southwest. We try to bring people together, diverse global audiences, and the dynamic Brazilian presence is a huge example of this and a great success story for us as an event. The individual clubhouses, we're going to have one each for innovation, film and TV, and music. And they will be in close proximity to the main conference spaces. So if you're in the music industry, your clubhouse is going to be at the Downright Hotel, which is where all the music conference sessions are going to be. The film and TV clubhouse will be at 800 Congress. So that's right across the street from Paramount and Stateside Theaters, where our big red carpets happen, and about a 2-block walk from the Omni, which is where the main conference sessions are happening for film and TV. And then lastly, the Innovation Clubhouse is going to be at Brazos Hall, which is 4th and Brazos. So it will be within about a block or two from the main conference venues for the innovation sessions as well. And so the idea is, trying to create spaces that people can come together for meetings, to get a little excitement about the event, some surprise and delight moments, the only at South by Southwest type feeling, where somebody might be popping in for a short chat, fireside conversation. We're going to have some exciting hospitality events as well. So it's really our goal is to bring people together in a fun and unique space.
That's cool. Are you going to be sessions inside the clubhouse or just this meeting and other spaces?
There will be smaller sessions. So fireside chats, a 2-person interview, 20-ish minutes. Mm-hmm. We're going to have some other lightly programmed moments as well. Some of the schedule's still being firmed up because we're, looking at it almost as a second appearance opportunity for some of our talent. So we have an author that's doing a book reading or on a session. Maybe there's a book signing for the author in the space, that sort of thing.
I just want to jump in and say that...
Please, Tracy, come.
Rio Grande do Sul is sponsoring the Productivity Zone in the Innovation Clubhouse. And the Productivity Zone is an area where people can, they can charge their phones, they can work, their desks set up, they can have, little meetings there. And that'll be sponsored throughout the length of South by the state of Rio Grande do Sul.
That sounds interesting, because I would ask you if it's going to happen some brand activations inside those clubhouses also. So that's a yes, right?
Yes, indeed.
Perfect. We are going to talk about brand activations soon.
Yeah. I've been checking the schedule and the sessions, and a main curiosity I think that everybody in the Brazilian community is talking about is where is going to be the keynotes and the main feature sessions. Are we going to have like a space like the Ballroom D, or how it's going to work?
Yes, it's a short answer. So the keynotes will be in the 6th floor of the Hilton. So it'll take over the big salons there. It's Salon F, G, H, J, K. It's going to be turned into one big room, similar to the Ballroom D in the Convention Center. There will also be featured sessions in that space. And then we will have featured sessions in the JW Marriott on the 4th floor. There's going to be 2 different larger rooms set up for those featured sessions. So Hilton for keynotes and Marriott for featured sessions.
And another plug for Brazil here. Peter and I have talked about having the Casa São Paulo, the SP House, got to get the language right. SP House will be hosting the overflow sessions for the keynotes. So if you don't get into the room at the Hilton, you can come over to the SP House, have some coffee, and watch the streaming there.
Besides the keynotes, also the stream for Emmy Web session is also a tradition. SP House, we always stream the Emmy session. Emmy Web session. It's fine. So, well, Peter, picking from Carol's questions and still talking about the South by Southwest program this year, this is the first year when all festivals are happening at the same time. So good for FOMO, but that's fine. We are used to it. The Innovation Conference, the music, and the film festival, they're all happening at the same time, right? So so how South by Southwest is preparing for the lines and the capacity management? One of the questions that I would like to ask you is if you know also this capacity of the clubhouses, since you mentioned about it. Do you have any tips to help with this?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, my number one tip for everybody, regardless of whether there's a convention center or not, is know your goal. Why are you wanting to attend South by Southwest? What do you want to get out of it? Who do you want to meet? And so really, for me, the first step is understanding the goal, and then taking a look at the schedule and finding the sessions, the events, the people that are going to help you advance that goal. And from there, it's really, building some anchor points in your schedule to make sure you're in the rooms that are going to help you achieve your goal, but to really leave some space for some serendipity and discovery, because South by at its best is really helping people kind of look under the rock, so to speak, and find something that they weren't expecting. And so really, I think it's important to leave space for you to, find that magic of discovery. In terms of capacities and lines, it's going to be similar in terms of, it's essentially a math problem in terms of the number of rooms we have, and that's not too dissimilar to every year previous to this. So we're, very cognizant of lines, capacity management, and I know we're going to get into the reservation system a little bit later, but that's also one of the impetuses for creating a reservation system rather than a fast pass, is that people are going to know that they've got a spot in the room, and don't have to, think about, I'm just going to get to the front of the line, but it might be at capacity. There's going to be a reserved spot for you in the room. And then, lastly, in terms of the capacities of the clubhouses, I don't know those offhand, but they're larger spaces. Brazos Hall is a 2-story venue. For those that maybe were at South by in 2024, Porsche had their activation there. So it's a very large space, and film and TV is a little bit smaller than Brazos Hall, a few hundred people capacity. And Downright is a large space because it's also our conference hotel. And so there's going to be a lot of opportunity for people to get in those spaces. I think, in terms of time management and making sure you're staying productive. It's, knowing your goal, making sure you're getting reservations for the sessions or events that you want to see.
Just be curious, were you able to provide the same quantity of spaces this year as when we used to have the ACC, the Austin Convention Center?
There's a slight reduction, and I say slight mostly because the footprint for the event largely is the same. Really, the big change is that the keynote room moves, our exhibitions move. We don't have the main registration hall, but film and TV conference content and music conference content, those were both in the convention center historically. And so they've moved to the Omni for film and TV and then the Downright Hotel for music. So there really is not like a major strain in terms of capacity or size, quote unquote, compared to previous years. So it shouldn't feel, hugely different in terms of, feeling overcrowded or anything of that nature.
I believe that for people that attend South by Southwest for a few years, it will be very interesting because it's all about distribution and circularity. Mm-hmm. And I think that now without the ACC as an anchor point, you can also let yourself be more willingly to serendipity. Mm-hmm. You're gonna eventually find more things interesting. And I like the idea of not having a ballroom be anymore, because people will be obliged to find your own path, And
that's
also,
yeah. Sorry, I was just going to say that's certainly the hope is that, people are out, they're meeting each other. And, we're able to showcase the best of Austin in a lot of ways. It's a fabulous city, as you both well know. And I think that, getting people out, having everything happening at the same time in terms of music, film, innovation, it's also going to help, I think, the event and the economic impact and reach in terms of the vendors in the community and the restaurants and everything else, because there's going to be much more, I think, dynamic, nature to the event, just with everything happening concurrently. You can have your best South by ever every day, no matter what day you're here.
Let's see how this experiment works. But personally, I felt very happy with the Omni as a venue, because when I started going South by Southwest, this was one of my favorite hotels. It's very beautiful inside. So people that are watching this, streaming this live, please go to Omni, because it's worth the visit.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, getting back to our questions, since you mentioned the reservation system, this I believe is something that will make people very excited and also uncomfortable. So I would like you to, yeah, because I remember the Express Pass. You just started feeling your heart beat a little faster, 10 minutes before 9 a.m. because you were with your finger on your mobile phone trying to get a seat for any web session, for example. And now you're bringing this for our first opening at February 19th, right? So I would like you, Peter, just to comment a little bit about this reservation system. How does it work?
For sure. And you point to one of the biggest, factors as to why we made this change is the uncertainty. We want to give people certainty. And so February 19th, like you mentioned, reservations are going to open for platinum badge holders. This will include our mentor sessions, which I would, want to put a plug in here as well. They're hugely impactful for those that attend. So folks that are, looking to advance their career, maybe change careers, I would highly recommend looking at the mentor opportunities and how you might benefit from those. So platinum will have the first bite at the apple on the 19th. We want to drive more value to our, largest customers, as it were. And on the 23rd, reservations will open for EDU. And then on the 26th, innovation, film and TV, and music badges will be able to start making their reservations. And then as things get confirmed, as you both well know, sometimes, we might announce something on March 1st or 2nd or 3rd. That same sort of approach is going to hold true, where a platinum badge holder will have the first opportunity to make reservations, and then a day to 2 days afterwards, music, film, innovation badges will be able to do their reservations as well. They're going to get released at 9 a.m. on each day on the 19th. That's 9 a.m. Austin time. And any new session or event that gets added after that open date will drop at that 9 a.m. slot as well. Platinum gets 3 reservations per day, and then the other badge types get 2 per day. And again, the reason behind this, the impetus is really, we want to drive certainty and make sure people know that they're going to be able to get into a room or the event that they've, have a reservation for.
But when it opens the reservation, we can make a reservation for every day, for all days, right?
Correct.
That's nice.
Another tip we always say to everybody that goes to South by, especially for the first time, how important is to organize before and do all the plannings before, and especially this year, it's going to be much more important. So everybody goes to the schedule, study the program, and start to organize your own agenda, because it's going to be worth to make these reservations, right?
100%. It's kind of like eating your vegetables or doing your homework. You got to do it.
Exactly. Trace, can you tell us about the Brazilian delegation this year? Are we going to break records again? What are the Brazilian highlights?
Carol, we're going to break some records, but not necessarily the records you might think. I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to see as many Brazilians this year as we did last year. And the reasons for that. There are some serious concerns people have about traveling to the U.S. right now. But nonetheless, Brazil is 200% above the next closest international delegation. In other words, the support from Brazil, the love for Brazil for South by is just unparalleled. Nobody else comes close. And that to me is a huge win. An interesting trend I'm seeing is less participation from brands in terms of our sales clients, and a lot more participation from the states themselves. You both know that São Paulo is coming in a bigger way than ever. They'll have their own gorgeous little village there on Congress. The state of Minas is doing some really interesting things. Their first time with us in a big way. They're going to do a whole day of programming at the Line on Saturday, March 14th. And they will kick off a house event that evening on Rainy Street. And they have some great programming in a couple of days in their house over there. They're going to present. And as I mentioned, the Rio Grande do Sul is going to be in our clubhouse. So and they'll also, spoiler alert, they're going to bring Governador Eduardo Leite to speak. He was a big hit the last time he came to South by, and we're very excited to have him back and tell us about some of the interesting things that have been happening in the States since the floods in particular. So it's going to be a different year, which makes sense given the characteristics of the event. And I'm really looking forward to it.
I know you are still looking for Brazilians in the program, but can you tell us something about the number of Brazilians that will be talking doing presentations or in the official program?
Yeah, Carol, the only reason I don't have the full number is because Minas, for example, has not put in all their speakers as yet. So we're already over 40 speakers in the South by Southwest program, over 16 sessions organized by Brazilians there. We've got a number of mentors, of course, from Brazil, and 2 meetups. And in EDU, we're running 4 panels that have been organized by Brazilians. And we also have a number of mentors there. The Brazilian program at EDU is quite strong.
So I believe this will be a record also, because compared to other years, the presence of Brazilians on the stages are massive this year, right?
I think it's going to be more, Franklin. I think one of the big differences is to have a full day from Minas and then have all the other stuff that we normally have, the single sessions from Diageo, from Pros, from Hospital Einstein, and Publicis and Ambev. It kind of all comes together.
Perfect. Also, I'm going to make a spoiler alert, because I mentioned this at the beginning of the session, but Tracy Mann is also a writer, an author. She recently released She recently released her book, and it will be we will host an interview with Tracy at São Paulo House, at SP House, and so she will be one of our speakers. So if you want to sign your book, please go to SP House. Later we will promote we will divulge the date and the schedule. But congrats.
And Frank, let me just ride on that red carpet you just laid out for me and say the book is in Portuguese. I don't want Brazilians to think they're going to have to do the homework of reading through an English language book. The book is being published in its first edition in Portuguese.
Lovely.
Amazing. Congratulations, Tracy. And I'm looking forward to read it. I'm especially happy because of Minas Day. I'm from Minas Gerais, so it's going to be nice to see our state there. But let me ask you something about the brands activations. Brazilians are know South by, especially also for brand activations. What are you going to expect this year, Peter? Can you tell us a little bit?
Yes, I mean, I think first and foremost, Rivian is again our headline partner. South by Southwest is driven by Rivian, and they're going to have another great presence. For those that if you saw pictures or were on site in Austin last March, you know that they did something pretty amazing with their vehicles and their driving joyride driving experience. So it's going to be a little different. It'll be on Congress Avenue this year. In the street closure, but they're going to have another great joyride activation. Just north of that, we're going to have our block party. So there's going to be a lot of brands in that space. So the point here is that there's going to be a lot of brand activity, kind of, dare I say, a carnival aspect in the streets for South by Southwest, from 7th, where the 7th and Congress, where the red carpets start, joyride at 8th and Congress, and then our block party at 9th and Congress. So we'll have DJs and a lot of brands presence there. So that I think will be a really fun, exciting thing to check out. In terms of other, sponsor brands, we've got a number that are in the works that aren't quite signed that I can't talk about. But Redbreast will be coming back, the Irish whiskey brand. Lilly, Eli Lilly, they're going to be coming. They're back as a major sponsor this year, as well as the Health and MedTech track sponsor. Both of them are going to have some exciting activation plans and thought leadership sessions as well. Paramount Plus will be back with their house on Rainey Street, which is, a perennial favorite for a lot of our folks. And then just a couple others that I can run through quickly. Coder is going to be sponsoring our opening party for innovation. That's going to be at the Innovation Clubhouse. I think that will be a lot of fun. We're going to have activations as well within that space from Cloudflare, Microsoft. So for any of you folks in the innovation or tech industry, obviously those are both pretty big names. And I think we're going to have some cool things to be sharing on site. Our merch partner, AS Colors, got a lot of exciting things happening as well throughout the footprint that I think was a highlight. And then we're going to have a lot of industry-focused hospitality events. And so those are what I would call out for music and film and TV is to check out the industry happy hours. The film industry happy hours will be from 5 to 7 at the Stephen F. Austin Royal Sonesta Intercontinental Hotel. And then the music industry happy hours will be at the Downright. So South by wouldn't be South by without its brand activations. They're a huge part of the magic of the event. And so we're going to have a very, I think, dynamic and exciting year again.
I don't know if I say congrats or just be strong, Peter, because I know that you are personally handling all of this. So you can count on with our good energy for you guys.
Appreciate it. The motto "one day at a time" holds true for life at South by for sure. So appreciate the support.
I can imagine. Well, as we start wrapping this up, and before opening for the floor to the questions for the community, we would love to hear from each of you. Just one final question. That's what's one or two things you think people should know and start preparing for ahead of this South by Southwest this year? I know that Peter already mentioned a few tips, but if you would like us to know something that's very important that you couldn't yet schedule on the newsletters we receive, now is the time.
Tracy, do you have anything?
Well, I just want to thank everybody for coming. To me, that's huge that we're going to have, I would guess now, if I would take an educated guess, I'd say, 15, 1,600 Brazilians this year. Maybe I'm short, but I kind of am looking at a number like that. And I'm really grateful for every single person who invested in us, who is still a believer. The way that Brazilians believe in our event, to me, is just unrivaled. It's the way I feel about the event, too. So it's great to have that synergy. The DNA of Brazilians that understand why we bring these diverse communities together. And in this moment where we really want to celebrate the power of the diversity, the humanity of the diversity, this is a great time to be with us in Austin for South by Southwest and to be together. Plan yourself for all the serendipitous things that you can leave room in your schedule for, because you are going to be with people who really want to be together in a place of creativity and innovation. And we're so grateful for your presence.
I 100% agree with that, and I feel like anything I say now is going to be a letdown. So that's maybe a good segue to questions.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine, guys. As a participant, as an attendee for South by Southwest for the last 14 years, I can assure you that the programming, it's one of the most interesting ones that I've ever seen. I really love the keynote choices, and also some featured speakers. And I know that you are working really hard to deliver the best experiences ever. And we Brazilians are at your side at this moment. So we are going to bring all our good energy and also all our fuzz and all our mess. But that makes this festival so special as well. So
Frank, I have to just add on to that, because that Messi got Song of the Year at the Grammys, and Lola King she'll be at South by Southwest performing that song.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Yes. I'm just gonna switch to Portuguese just a little bit, just to make some message for the audience. So, pessoal, enquanto a gente está organizando as perguntas aqui, eu vi que o Ricardo já mandou uma ali na nossa sala do chat. A gente tem um pouquinho de delay com as perguntas que vocês enviam. A gente vai ter espaço aqui para fazer umas 2 ou 3 perguntinhas. Quem quiser perguntar agora na sala do chat, fique à vontade. Lembrando que a gente está com o nosso time aqui participando do clube. Então, se vocês quiserem entrar no grupo da gente do WhatsApp, o Clube Radar de Inovação, a gente vai colocar o link aqui rapidamente no grupo, na sala do chat. E as perguntas que a gente não responder, vocês podem esperar que a resposta vão estar lá também. Tá bem?
Franklin, deixa eu dar um recadinho bem rápido para quem está assistindo. Essa live, pessoal, ela vai ficar gravada no mesmo link que vocês estão assistindo. Então, se vocês já quiserem pegar o link, encaminhar para outras pessoas assistirem, pessoas que têm dúvidas, que estão conhecendo o Southby pela primeira vez ou querem saber o que vai acontecer esse ano, pode mandar o link que vai ficar hospedado aqui no nosso YouTube.
Isso aí. So, let's change to English again. I'm getting a little bit rusty because I have to train it a little more, but okay, that's the reason why I listen to English podcasts. Well, Rick Rodriguez, our friend, our music ambassador in South by South, he asked, these state activations are bringing music artists as well?
Yeah, I was just trading some messages actually on WhatsApp with Ricardo, because I know Peter, in case you don't know, Ricardo always, he does the Tropic Club nights at South by that are just so fantastic, bringing Brazilian musicians together with musicians from other parts of Latin America. And admittedly, we've been a little low on the Brazilian bands applying this year. But the good news, Ricardo, is that, yes, São Paulo is bringing some really big names. I think they're not ready to unveil them yet, but there's going to be some very exciting talent there. You might want to talk to Frank about who those names are off camera. And Casa Minas gave me some names that I can't even believe. I mean, Mineiros that have been nominated for Latin Grammys or won Latin Grammys, and they're just consolidating that program now. So we could talk about that more offline, and just so you can get a handle on the talent that's going to be there and see if maybe some of these names also will fit with your showcase.
I've heard it through the grapevine that Minas House is going to host some great Brazilian names for their music programming. So Hick, maybe you should talk with someone from Minas House as well.
Yeah,
Tracy
I think that's right.
Share the contact.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, people, since I don't receive any other questions, I will thank you so much again for your time with us today. And if you would like to, do you want to say anything else, Tracy?
Yeah, Frank, I just want to leave one message for the oclb community. Anybody who runs into any issues, any problems during the event, we're around to help. Me, if you want to, Portuguese is your preferred language, I'm around. Frank and Carol have my WhatsApp. It's my phone number that's on the website. Do not hesitate to reach out. I know there's maybe a little bit of tension around coming to the U.S. I want you to know we're there for you. Anybody on our team is happy to support you, and don't feel embarrassed or reserved to reach out to us if you're not having the experience at South by Southwest that you've come to Austin for.
Perfect. So with this note, now I thank you so much again for your time here with us. Wish you all the success and hope to see you soon in Austin. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.